What's up, guys? So today we're actually going to start a new build series, I guess I can say, since that the BRZ was kind of one, the Impreza was one, but today is going to be the start of a new build series. So last video, if you guys watched it, it was when I unveiled my new daily driver and I talked about the future plans for the BRZ. I told you guys that the next video was actually going to be modifying the ISF, which is the new daily driver, but unfortunately, I'm still waiting on the wheels to come back from powder coat, so instead of just waiting around, just stalling, waiting for those, we're just gonna skip ahead and we're gonna start working on our future drift car, which I have right over there. But first, the history on the car. I knew this dude for a couple years now through work. He used the car for his daily driver for years and years. He always did all the maintenance on it, kept extremely good care of it until about 2 years ago when he got into an accident with someone and he smashed up the quarter panel of the car. And then after that, he kept on driving after that, and he ended up sliding it in the snow this past winter and wrecked the left rear suspension, like bent all the control arms, actually snapped one of the lower control arms, and basically messed up that entire suspension on that side. So he gave me a call then and he was like, hey, look, the car's gonna be for sale, are you interested in buying it? And of course, literally at the time that he called me, I was in the process of doing all the paperwork and stuff for my house to basically to buy it. So I told him I didn't have much cash, but he said, you know, I asked him how much he wanted for it and he said 500 bucks and I could come take it. So I had an extra 500 bucks cash, so I was like, you know what, screw it, let me go grab it. And it's basically been sitting ever since. I picked it up one of the last days of March. I think it was literally the 29th or the 30th when I picked up this car, and it's been sitting ever since. I don't want to say I haven't been motivated to work on it, but I've been waiting for the right time to start working on it. I've been slowly building up parts, and finally I have enough parts to start making it actually rollable, because I needed to get suspension, I needed to get some other stuff. I needed to get wheels because he broke the wheel that was in the left rear. But it's finally here. It's pulled out of the little spot back there. If you guys have catch a glimpse of it, the past couple videos that we've done at this shop, it's been in the back corner over there next to the GTI. But basically, this is it right here. It's a 92 Lexus SC300, and this one actually is a factory 5-speed SC. So I forget how many he said came to the States, but I think he said like 2,000 something only came to the States, and the rest of them were automatic. So this is actually a pretty rare car, as you can see. Nice stick shift. The interior is pretty torn up. I think it has like 150 or 180,000 miles on it, but this side of the body is perfect, absolutely perfect. This is the actually this is the suspension that's all broken. So this is how he gave it to me. Basically just this upper control arm and the axle is holding this knuckle in right now, because everything else is taken out. Like, he bent the strut, he broke that control arm right there, and then I think he bent one of these front, either the tie rod or that front traction rod. One of them he bent. But then if we come around this side, this is where he got into the accident and smashed the entire quarter panel and, you know, wrecked all of like the fender arch, and it's actually all muddy in here right now. I think from when he slid in the snow and got stuck. I think I remember him saying that he got stuck. So this right now, this thing's a mess. But besides that, the front is in good shape. Like, the front literally is like perfect. Besides that, it's extremely dirty from just sitting for, I think it's been 5 or 6 months now. Yeah, 6 months now it's been sitting. So basically my plans for this car, since that the quarter panel is all smashed up, I actually just today I got the fiberglass quarter panel replacements, like the wide body fender flares. I just got those in literally today. So one of the next episodes will be actually us cutting the old quarter panels out, and we're going to be riv nutting and installing the new quarter panels. So basically, since that this is going to be our purpose-built drift car, I might still try and register it. I'm not 100% sure, but basically like what I did with the Impreza, how I cut out a lot of the rear, I cut out the quarter panels, and I just mounted those fiberglass panels over it. This one is gonna be even more intense, I guess, more cut out than what the Impreza was. So not only will the quarter panel areas be cut out, but we're gonna take out basically the entire like spare tire area, and basically the only thing that'll be left is just this area right here. So it'll be like the tail light and up for like the inner structure piece. So everything underneath here is going to be gone. This whole area here and down will be gone. So basically just like a little bit of a structure around this, just to hold the new fiberglass panel on, and then everything on the inside, so like all of this is going to be gone. I don't think no, the key's not here, so I can't pop the trunk, but just everything inside is going to be gone. So just from here down, all you'll basically just see are just the two frame rails that we're going to build a bash bar setup. We're going to build some support rods for the bumper itself and for the trunk. I think instead of the trunk latch, we're just going to do some pins just to get rid of some of the extra stuff, because this car is really heavy and it's really solid, like real solid. So we're gonna try and get as much weight out of this car as physically possible, because this thing weighs a ton, and the interior is gonna be a lot of that. So everything is gonna get ripped out. So just like the Impreza, the interior stripped in the Impreza before I started filming anything, but we're gonna basically dashboard back is gonna be all stripped out. So there's gonna be literally no factory interior. It's just gonna be as simple as a steering wheel, the shifter, hydro, racing seats. That's it. Everything else will be gutted out. So basically what I have planned for today, and basically the first things that we're going to be doing to this SC, is that since the control arm broke, the dude actually took the control arm out, but he had to cut the bolt out that went into the subframe, and doing that he damaged the subframe a little bit. So I have all new adjustable control arms for it. We gotta get some coilovers from ISC. We still have to do that, but I also have diff bushings and urethane subframe mount bushings. So what we're gonna do is basically we're just gonna drop the rear subframe out. I'm gonna repair it, clean it up, paint it, throw all the new control arms on, put our dual caliper brackets on those knuckles, and then basically we'll just put it back up into the car, clean everything up. I'm gonna wheel it out. I have, where are they? I've got these little pinch weld rollers. I have those. So basically, I gotta still put one on the other side, but once I get the subframe out, I'm gonna wheel the car outside. I'm gonna power wash underneath it, because like I showed you just before, that right rear area is really muddy. So I'm gonna have to get all that out. So basically now, I guess there's nothing really else to talk about besides actually just starting to do work. So it's time to actually find out how much is actually rusty on this car and how much will actually come apart nice and easy. So I gotta get the exhaust out and then start doing the drive shaft, and at that point the axles and then the diff should come out, and then at that point it's basically just a few pieces around the subframe, and I'm just gonna drop the entire subframe with the control arms and stuff on it. So it's just like the whole, if you watched my older video of when I was doing the lift kit on the Crosstrek, which I'll just link right there for you, I had to drop the subframe in order to put the subframe spacers on there. So this subframe isn't too different from like that. This will take a little bit longer because things aren't brand new like that Crosstrek was, but I guess it's just time to start getting into it, so let's do it. Alright, after literally probably 30 to 45 minutes, I finally got the exhaust off. Remember how I just said that I hope there was not really, you know, didn't really give me that hard of a time to get the stuff off because of the rust? Well, rust. This flange, I wanted to take it off right here, but these were not coming off at all, and like the flange is real crappy too. There's no way this was coming apart. So I had to take it off from the manifold, which this one, the nut came loose. This one did not, so I had to cut this nut off. And then this flange was stuck to the manifold itself. So what I ended up doing is I dropped both of those hangers and the two muffler hangers, so the back of the exhaust hung down to put pressure on it. And then I used my sledgehammer, which is still over there, sledgehammer, and hit on that a bunch until it finally broke free and came off. So now finally the entire exhaust is off. So now I just got to work on getting the drive shaft out, and then the two axles and the diff should come right out. Alright, so I haven't filmed in a little bit because it's been extremely rusty down here and it's been taking me a little while to get everything apart. But I have the diff out, it's right over there, and I got one of the axles out. The other axle is obviously just right here. All I gotta do is I already have the axle nut loose, well actually taken off. I just have to pull the axle through, so that's no big deal. The drive shaft gave me a little bit of problem. The diff bolts were a little bit of an issue. Not those two front ones, but more those right there. Those ended up being a little rusty and I couldn't really get the Allen socket in there. But it's all out. So now what I have to do is I gotta undo the e-brake cables. I'm not gonna be using those factory cables anymore, so I think just to make it easy, I'm just gonna cut them from the knuckle, just so they're out of the way. And then I have to undo the speed sensor or ABS wiring. Just got to undo that from the knuckle, and then the top of the strut on that side, and then I can lower the subframe down by just using those 12mm bolts right there. There's another two on this side, so that on either side, and then right in the front over here I've got those two big, I think they're 19s, the two big 19s, and then the subframe itself will drop out. So I don't know how much more I'm going to go. I think I'm going to cut the e-brake cables and maybe get the wiring out of the way for the speed sensors, and then I might have to call it a night. Alright, what's up guys? So this is actually the first time you're actually seeing the inside of my house. This is my little office area that I have, but there was supposed to be more to this video, but I bought a new camera and I started using it that next day, and I hooked up this external mic that I have, and I forgot, well, I just went to go edit the video, which I'm still doing right now behind me, and I realized I didn't have any sound, and it turns out that I didn't have the mic plugged in all the way, so it didn't work for the rest of the video. So for the rest of the video, I came back the next day and I had Matt help me out, and we got the rear subframe out. Then we actually took the knuckles off of the control arms and I got them separated. So there's a couple of the control arms I have to cut out of the subframe because the bolts won't come loose, but for the most part everything's fine. Now the next step was just going to be to roll the car outside, power wash all the mud off of it. Got to clean up the subframe a little bit, and we still have to cut those bolts, and then after that just install the new suspension arms, get some coilovers for it. We already have the wheels there, and just get cracking at it. And then the other unfortunate part too, since that the mic wasn't working, is that today I was at the shop filming a video for the ISF. I did the coilovers and I did the wheels. And all today I was over there filming with this camera with the mic that wasn't plugged in all the way. So I'm pretty upset about that because I took a while filming it and now I don't have any usable footage because I have no sound. So, oh well, but next time I will make sure that this mic is plugged in, which I'm using it right now with the mic, so it clearly is working now. So I think what we'll actually do for the ISF, since that I wasn't able to release any video of the coilovers and the wheels going on is I'll just kind of bundle it into one video that I've been talking with the owner of ISC, and I know all the guys up there. I think we're going to take a day trip up to New Hampshire to go hang out with them for a day, walk around their facility, walk around their warehouse, maybe actually build a set of coilovers for the SC. We'll see how much time we have. We're going to be going up there to pick up a set of coilovers. It just depends on if they have enough time, like probably just the owner, to see if he has enough time to just sit down with us and just like go through building a set of coilovers. And then that day I was going to drive the ISF up there anyway, so if the ISF is up there at the same time, I'll just do a walk around video of just showing you guys the car with the coilovers and the wheels on. So thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry for the basically like the half episode and then the lost footage, well, the lost sound of the ISF video. But don't forget to give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. See ya.